So we finally get the full story behind Mikage. I did not expect to walk into this episode and finally get the answers that has plagued my mind since I first started this series. We find out why Mikage has left the shrine, why he left his familiar Tomoe by himself. We find out why Nanami has become the land god. We find out all about this in this episode. And to see these mysteries revealed, it opens my eyes up to a lot of questions I have had through the journey of this series. So, to put it in simple terms, Mikage disappeared to actually help out Tomoe, to actually make him grow as a person, allow him to move on from his previous love, and allow him to, grow and understand human beings a lot more. And to see how Mikage as a character and as a person in general was willing to do something like that for Tomoe, it just shows you his type of character, his persona and stuff like that. Because I could see how a lot of people watching the series or reading the series can look at him as if he's an asshole. He just left Tomoe like that for many years. But with this episode, all mysteries or any impressions you had of him pretty much were shattered. Like, we find out he did it out of the best interest of Tomoe. And I have to say, I have to commend the man for doing something like that. I mean, we find out about the flashback, like right at the end of season 1. I remember the flashback that Tomoe and, Nanami had. Like, Nanami had that flashback or dream or whatever, and she remembered Tomoe in his, like, demon form, and he was, like, in love with this girl that looked oddly like Nanami. Like, she looked oddly like her, and there was a lot of theories I remember I had at the time. I thought, like, Nanami was a reincarnation or something like that, but with this episode, we find out that this girl was at one point in time the lover of Tomoe, and she died of old age or whatever happened to her. She died, and Tomoe couldn't move past it. Like, from what we find out from Mikage, is that demons or anyone with a long life, or gods, for instance, and stuff like that, when they fall in love, they will fall in love, and their heart will not change for centuries. Like, it will be a long time until they really move on past the loss of a loved one. And to see how we now find the full picture of why Nanami was kind of introduced. She was there to actually make it to where Tomoe could forget about his previous love. But it goes further than that. Mikage reveals that he used his power to actually, like, remove the memories of the girl that Tomoe loved. Now, that right there is going to be a problem in the future. Like, I really see that being a major issue, because Tomoe loves that girl in the past. And like, Mikage said, if you really love someone and you're like a demon or something, it'll be a long time until your heart can change. And when Tomoe finally realizes he was in love with that girl that passed away, and then he finds out he's also in love with, Nanami, he's going to probably look at that person he lost, and he's like, I don't want to be next to Nanami at all, because I will lose her too. And so I could see how this overall issue could be brought up in the future of the series. Like, this is a reoccurring theme I see in a lot of type of series, especially when it comes to yokai and, humans getting together, or even Spice Wolf. Spice Wolf also had this element. And to see how this element once again is brought in, for instance, a supernatural being with, a regular human being, it's really not possible, because even though you're in love and you have real love between each other, there will come a time to when the person will die, the human will die, and the supernatural being will be alone and by itself, for how many years, it just depends. And so, it's a very sad tragedy if you think about it, and it makes you understand why Mikage did what he did, and also why Tomoe is like he is in the past and why he is now, and why he didn't really want to step into the spotlight of getting with Nanami at the beginning of the series. So, episode overall, the progression of it, the development, and the reveals, awesome. Fucking awesome. Seriously, this episode was one of the best episodes of Kamisama Season 2, like, straight up. And probably one of the best episodes in general when it comes to this series, because the romance vibes, the adorableness, the quietness, the animation levels, the music levels, everything when it came to this episode looked absolutely freaking good. Like, that scene in this episode when you see Tomoe go in and kiss Nanami, that right there, that was just freaking cute. That was just too damn cute. And to find out how Tomoe, in his mind, he was actually having an inner battle. Like, he was fighting if Am I the reason why I'm in love with Nanami? Is it because I was her familiar? Like, he was asking that question, and he comes to the conclusion he is still, you know, in love with her even without being her familiar. Like, he's entranced by her entire being. And so to see this, it just shows you how much he really is in love with Nanami. So we get this romance progression in this episode that really shows you how far Nanami and Tomoe have come. But I wonder if there's going to be a time to where Tomoe is going to remember. Like, I know for a fact it's going to happen. That definitely is going to be set in stone. He will remember eventually, and that's going to cause some form of drama between Nanami and him. But I wonder when that time is going to come to when he finally remembers, and what is it really going to do to their relationship. But the episode overall, man, it was shockingly good. Like, I mean, it's not shockingly good because, I mean, Kamisama is good almost every time it has an episode. So it's not really shocking because I expected a good episode. When I say shockingly, it's just shockingly to find out so much information in one given episode. Like, I did not expect to see this type of information given to me until, like, the ending of the season 2. Like, I didn't expect to see that. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, how do you feel about this week's episode of Kamisama? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? I mean, how do you feel about Tomoe and, you know, his, perspective on humankind and, you know, he has to move past his old love life to be able to accept his new life? I mean, how do you feel about that? I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.